Hi, my name is Nicole Sakuma. For my Anatomy and Physiology 2 lesson, we're going to be talking about gas exchange. And gas exchange is so important to you staying alive. It is the process of how you breathe. So listen up. Gas exchange is the biological process where oxygen and carbon dioxide are being swapped between the body and the environment. And this happens at the alveoli of the lungs as well as the active tissues all throughout your body. The goal of gas exchange is to bring oxygen into the body for cellular respiration to be used as an energy resource and for carbon dioxide to be removed, and carbon dioxide is produced as a waste product of metabolism. Oxygen will move from the alveolus into the blood, and carbon dioxide will move from the blood into the alveolus. And carbon dioxide is moved in 3 ways. It is dissolved in the plasma. It is also formed as carbaminohemoglobin. It's going to be carbon dioxide attached to a hemoglobin, and it'll also be dissolved as a bicarbonate ion. All right, so let's take a look at the lungs. At the lungs, the goal is to move carbon dioxide from the blood into the alveolus so it can be exhaled and leave the body. You don't want carbon dioxide in your body for too long or too much of it. And then the goal is to move oxygen into the red blood cell so it can circulate throughout the body and be used up. The first step is going to be this oxygen right here, which enters the red blood cell. This is going to combine with deoxyhemoglobin. It's going to kick off this hydrogen right here to form oxyhemoglobin and leave a dissociated free hydrogen. So HbO2 is oxyhemoglobin. First step, oxygen combining with deoxyhemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin and a freestanding hydrogen. Step 2 is HCO3, which is bicarbonate. Bicarbonate is going to be brought into the red blood cell, and a chloride from the red blood cell is going to be kicked out. And just notice how these two are both negatively charged because you want to keep the red blood cell the same charge when you're shifting these. All right, so this bicarbonate right here is going to be used in the third step, as well as this freestanding hydrogen from the first step. So the hydrogen and bicarbonate are going to combine to form carbonic acid. H2CO3 is carbonic acid. So hydrogen plus bicarbonate equals carbonic acid. Then the next step, step 4, is going to be catalyzed by carbonic anhydrase, which is right there. So the carbonic acid is going to be broken down into a water molecule and carbon dioxide, and again this will be catalyzed by carbonic anhydrase right there. Now this carbon dioxide that was converted from this bicarbonate right here is going to be sent into the alveolus to eventually be breathed out at the lungs when we exhale. All right, and then for the last step, remember how I said carbon dioxide also travels as a carbaminohemoglobin. I can never say this. Carbaminohemoglobin. So this carbaminohemoglobin will be broken down into a freestanding hemoglobin and a carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide detached from the hemoglobin will be sent into the alveolus to be breathed out when we exhale. So that is gas exchange at the lungs. Now we're going to look at gas exchange at the tissues, which is basically going to be the same 5 steps, just the process is reversed. Here we want oxygen to be moved into the tissues to be eventually circulated and be used up. And then carbon dioxide will be moved into the red blood cell to be sent to the lungs to be breathed out. whenever we exhale. All right, the first step is going to be carbon dioxide from the tissues being sent into the red blood cell. This carbon dioxide will combine with water to form carbonic acid. Remember, H2CO3. I'm not going to write that out. Carbonic acid. And then step 2 is going to be this carbonic acid being catalyzed by carbonic anhydrase right here. And that's going to be broken down into a freestanding hydrogen and bicarbonate. Step 3 is the chloride shift right here, where this bicarbonate is going to be sent out of the red blood cell and a chloride will be sent in to take place of that negative charge. Now for step 4, this freestanding hydrogen is going to be used here. It's going to combine with oxyhemoglobin. So whenever an oxygen is bonded to hemoglobin, it'll be oxyhemoglobin. And whenever a hydrogen is bound to hemoglobin, but not an oxygen, it'll be deoxy. Alright, so hydrogen will combine with oxyhemoglobin to form deoxyhemoglobin and a freestanding oxygen. That oxygen will be sent into the tissues to be used up. Alright, and then the last step, remember how we said carbaminohemoglobin is one way that carbon dioxide travels around the body, so we want to get that as an end product here. So this carbon dioxide from the tissues be sent into the red blood cell. It's going to combine with a hemoglobin to form carbaminohemoglobin. And there we go. That is gas exchange, both at the tissues as well as the lungs.